This video is concerned with succession planning. Now, to start, succession planning is a process carried out by management to identify capable employees. Essentially, what this means is that the management is looking for competent, skilled and dedicated workers who are suitable for promotion and for extra responsibility in the future. Now, the reason why they would want to do this is that existing managers or junior managers or whoever may at some stage want to leave for career purposes, or may want to retire, or may want to leave the company for some other reason. And it's important that the business have people lined up, people ready to take over, so that there is a smooth transition from one set of managers to the next. Suitable employees may be selected for training to develop their careers and ambitions. So it's looking for the right people within the set of employees. It's looking for people who are conscientious and dedicated and ambitious and so on, and who want to develop their skill sets and their careers in line with the objectives of the business. Employees may be trained to take on more responsibilities and placed into more challenging roles. So it may not be a full step from employee worker to manager. It may be a set of transitional positions, progressively taking on more responsibility. So this is a good form of planning. The downside of it is it may impinge upon the morale of the person who is thinking of leaving. They may not have decided to leave for some time, and yet they see somebody now being groomed, ready to take their position. So they may feel like they're being pushed to some extent. So care has to be taken when selecting employees and giving them more responsibilities, that it's done sensitively. It's done sensitively with the person who is in situ, the person who's doing the job now, firmly in mind. Succession planning benefits a business preparing some employees to take on responsibilities in the event of key employees leaving the business. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's important that the business has a smooth transition from one set of managers to the next in the event of some key personnel leaving or retiring or whatever. Now, the purpose of succession planning, well, faster decision making in regards to recruitment of talented employees. It's faster decision making because the new employee, the new manager I should say, is being selected from tried and tested workers. The management has seen the performance of certain employees and has been impressed by that, and that facilitates the decision-making process. So it's easier to select the new managers from the existing set of employees. So there's also greater continuity, as I said. The employees who are selected for extra responsibility in training in preparation for coming into the proverbial shoes of the person leaving, there's greater continuity because these people know the job. They know the routines of the business. They know the culture of the business. They know what's expected of them, and they know the personalities that are involved and the customer requirements, and so they're coming in to the position with knowledge. They have, in a sense, been pre-trained. They've come up through the ranks and they know what is required of them. Business efficiency through developing employees are seen as a business resort. The employees are a business resource. The set of employees, the workers in the business, feel valued because they know that they are being watched and their performance being monitored with a view of promoting them, with a view of giving them more responsibility and giving them managerial positions. So there may be additional motivation amongst the staff, amongst the workers, to catch the eye of management and project a positive image of themselves in the context of their work, so that they would be selected for promotion in the future. Sorry, I've skipped back. The purpose of succession planning, I should say, it attracts and retains talented employees. It maintains the set of talented employees. It maintains them in the sense that they feel that they could be selected for advancement. So the employees feel a part of the organization, they feel valued, and as I said earlier, that increases motivation. So the company becomes more attractive to the employees. Now, developing a succession plan. Now, the succession plan may include selecting possible successors within the organization. As I said earlier, looking at the performance of the existing workers, looking at their aptitudes, their capabilities, and their application to getting the job done and the quality of their work. So it's selecting suitable successors from within the organization. It's agreeing a suitable job role for the successors. It's letting them know that they have been spotted as potentially suitable future management, and perhaps gradually increasing responsibility and giving them the opportunity to exercise some sort of discretion and latitude in their work, to see what they can do and to see if they are responsible. It's important to provide training for the successors. It's not very fair to take someone off the shop floor and expect them to become managers overnight. It's important to have training programs to polish their managerial skills. So providing training is an important part of the plan. And it's also important to review the succession plan with successors and with management. It's important to ensure that the plan that's put in place to encourage staff to step up, to take more responsibility and take on the managerial positions, to ensure that they have got the skills and the background and the training and they are suitable. And it's important to review the plan and review the training that's been offered to ensure that they feel that they are being adequately prepared to take on the extra responsibility. It's important, of course, to check the progress of individuals. There is a monitoring exercise that has to run right throughout the whole succession plan. The monitoring should not be interventionist and seen as heavy-handed. The monitoring should be just observations, taking comments from other people, employees and other management, taking feedback from the person selected, him or herself, and trying to gauge, trying to work out how suited the person is. Are there any issues that cast doubts on the selection of this person? Are there any issues that suggest that the person would not be able to fulfill the role when the full burden of the job is passed to them? So it's necessary to have monitoring right throughout. Now the formats, well, this is very simple. Just simply take the job role, take the existing job holder. So look at whatever the job, let's say it's a situation on the shop floor in a small engineering company. So the job role could be production manager, and the person holding it is whoever, Mr. Smith. The ideal candidate now would be looking at the set of skills that are available on the shop floor at the moment amongst the employees. The ideal candidate now is this person, whoever it is, just the person that's most suitable right now. But there's another person who perhaps just lacks some training but has a better personality, or has more perseverance and is perhaps more meticulous in terms of producing a quality product. That person is not ready now but could be ready soon. That's the next. A little bit later, that person would be ideal. But actually there's another one which has just joined a company but who is not familiar with the routines of the business or the history of the business or the customer requirements, but seems ideal on paper and has got good references and is applying him or herself diligently at the moment, and that's the future. So they're looking at, the company could look at the existing role, the one that needs to be looked at. If a manager is thinking of leaving for whatever reasons, perhaps family reasons or promotion or whatever, moving to a different area to live. So they're looking at the existing job role and looking at the existing job holder, and they may identify, in this case, 3 candidates. One who's going to be there right now, if needed. One who could be ready fairly soon, perhaps within 6 months or 3 months or whatever, if mentored in the right way. And there's one who's, let's say, ideally suited but would take another year before he or she is ready. So just simply enter the names. Take the job role in this case, let's say, is research manager, and they're looking at who holds the job. S. Williams holds the job. The ideal candidate right now would be F. Marks. There's nobody after F. Marks, but in the future T. Baker could be ready. So if S. Williams was to leave tomorrow, the ideal candidate is F. Marks, because F. Marks is ready now. But in the future, T. Baker is one to watch. And you just simply go down the list of job roles. The marketing manager, here are the people, and you fill out this box. So it's just an exercise in looking at the job roles and looking who's doing it and who's suitable right now, who's suitable later on, and who's suitable in the future. There is a second format. It's not too far off the first one we looked at, but in this case simply look at the candidate, the present job holder, who's probable, possible, and the future. So here it's looking at the candidate is F. Jenkins. The present job holder, well, marketing manager, but could be the development manager, or could be a data manager, or could be research manager. So F. Jenkins can be developed to do different jobs if need be. So it gives more fluidity in management. F. Jenkins could be trained as the development manager. That's probable. That's likely to be the case because of his or her capacity to do the job, and they have perhaps finished certain courses at college in the evening, or they are showing themselves particularly suitable to be the development manager. But they could become the data manager, because F. Jenkins has got good statistical knowledge, it's good with numbers, interested in computing, so it could become, that's possible, could become data manager. And in the future, with proper training, could become research manager. So what we're doing here with this format is looking at the person, looking at what they're presently doing, they're marketing manager, but could be developed, and could be developed in different ways, providing training is provided. And you can do this for every person. So in this case, we're looking at the people who are working for the business currently, looking at what their present position is, and looking at what they could do if they were developed, knowing what we know about them. We know that Peter, for example, is a sales assistant, but Peter could be promoted to senior sales assistant because he or she has got certain skills and personality types, and they are keen to be involved, and they're interested in the product and are interested in the business. They could become the senior sales assistant, so they could be promoted. And S. John could move from team leader to unit leader because he or she is showing good interest in the job role, showing good interest in the business, are becoming more and more reliant on, are showing themselves to be more, I should say, reliable, and they could go on to become the HR manager in the future with proper training. Developing into employees. Well, developing employees requires intensive training. Generally speaking, the employees are working, so they have to maintain their application to their job to make sure that they're still meeting the requirements of the work. And they're also human beings. They have social lives and they have family lives. So any training tends to be intensive. It tends to try to get the people up to speed as fast as possible, to get that over and done with almost. Even though what has been imparted on courses should stay with the recipient for the rest of their working days, nonetheless the training tends to be intensive. So it's possible to have, let's say, a lateral move. Now that may be a part of the training. So a person's identified as being particularly suitable within a department and they're performing a certain function within the department. Give them experience of doing a different function within the department. Now that's a lateral move. Employees are transferred to a similar role within the organization with similar pay. They're just simply given more experience. They now have experience of 2 or maybe more activities. But these are lateral moves. They're moves sideways. It may be possible to get them involved in particular projects. If a new project has come in, get them involved to see what their contribution is, what their recommendations are, and how they would problem solve, how they would get this new project up and running. And if there are opportunities to show leadership and responsibilities, pass it on. They may need a great deal of supervision and monitoring, but it's a good way of figuring out their capacity to be leaders and how they're able to cope with extra responsibility. So look at the internal and external training and development programs that are available. There may be some at local colleges, or there may be specialist organizations offering courses that could be bought in, which would help the workers better equip themselves to perform the new function, should they take on the extra responsibility and take the promotion. Management and succession planning. Well, management can improve and develop their succession planning. They need to know the employees and the staff. That's the most basic requirement. It's clearly the case that if they're going to select members of staff for promotion, they must know their employees and their staff from the start. They must know the characteristics of the people, their personalities, their ability to work under stress, the problem-solving capabilities of the people, their application, their diligence. They need to know their people. They need to know the business requirements for future growth and progression. The management need to know that the business is going to grow and that they're going to promote these people, the selected people, and there's going to be jobs for them, that the business itself is on a sound footing. There's no point in planning for succession into roles if the business itself is declining. The business may not be around, so it may not justify the effort to select people and train them and so on. But it may also be unfair to the people selected to undergo training and take on the extra responsibility and then have their hopes and ambitions dashed because the business was going down. It's important to be able to spot employee potential. Management should be aware of the workers and how the workers go about their tasks. And workers who have minimal supervision and yet perform well, these are, generally speaking, the ideal ones to consider. It's important to provide an incentive for the employees to succeed. Perhaps recognition and the opportunity to go for promotion is sufficient motivation, or it could be that the current manager needs to have a word with these people and explain what the thinking is and try to be supportive and helpful to the workers in preparation for possible advancement. It's important to provide the employees with new challenges to develop their skills. As I said earlier, it may be that there are opportunities through lateral moves within the department to widen the experience of workers, give them experience in one area of the department, move them to a different area to get them a different set of experiences. And that may be very useful. The management are really looking at the employees as almost like assets. They are developing the employees and they're investing in the employees. They're investing in the expectation that the employees will take on the roles and take on the tasks and become good managers in the future. So they're investing in the employee in the expectation of a good return. The management should be prepared to take some risk. There may be times when a candidate suitable for promotion has been spotted, but maybe there is just some small issue that needs to be addressed. Perhaps the person's timekeeping is not the best and the person needs to be told that they need to improve it and it needs to be monitored over a longer period and so on and so on. There can be issues. So it's up to the management. Do they want to take the risk with that person? Do they think the person is suitable? perhaps in all respects that person is suitable, except the person just can't keep good time. Now, there's a risk there. Do the management want to take it? As an organisation expands, its needs and demands also increase. So succession planning is important in an expanding business. As I said earlier, if the business is declining, the pressure to have good succession planning may be reduced. So much of what we're discussing here applies to businesses that are expanding. It's a good way of ensuring that employees are regularly trained and developed to successfully meet their requirements, to meet the roles of the job. Succession planning is, it could be an offshoot of training programs, or the training programs could be in place because of the need for succession planning. It can be either way. But one way or the other, succession planning and training go together. It's important that the employees are trained. To train not only to do the specific job that they're working on at the moment, but they understand the business, they understand the aspirations of the business, they understand the way the business functions, and they're given wider experience if possible. If nothing else, it just will give them more motivation in their working lives. Effective succession planning prepares an organisation for expansion. Now, this can come about for a variety of reasons. It could come about because key employees leave. And they leave because they've been offered better employment elsewhere, or the family wanted to move location, or people leave for a variety of reasons. Or the business is expanding, so they simply take on more workers and they're looking for new management to look after the new sections that have been created because of the expansion. Or it could be that there's been a whole layer of promotions, that existing management have all gone up a notch because management much higher up have left or are gone part-time or whatever. So there may be opportunities throughout the organisation for movement into different managerial roles. So there may be more opportunities within the business. Succession planning is a time-consuming and costly process. But in return, the organisation develops capable employees. It's interesting that some of the very important management, particularly in the car industry, are made up from people who have come through apprenticeships and have worked their way up right through the organisation. So their talents have been spotted, and they have been promoted and promoted again and again, until finally they end at the top of the food chain. They're in the top of the business. They become the managing director or the CEO or whatever. But it happens in many companies. The employees are loyal as they appreciate the time and effort invested in them. So the employees, if they're reasonable people, will understand that the business is investing in them. It's helping them to acquire the skills necessary to take on managerial responsibility. But that, of course, means a big improvement in their lives. So the employees tend to be loyal and appreciate this. So the process motivates employees as they can see their careers developing. There's more motivation amongst the employees, perhaps more competition amongst them as well, to catch the eye of the management, and that will give management more scope to look at a wider set of individuals to see who is more suitable. But the employees tend to be more motivated because they see an opportunity, they see the possibility of promotion and a better life. The employees may also be more loyal to the business and want to stay in the business and stay working for the company because they see these opportunities arising, and perhaps they see them rising on a fairly regular basis, and they think one day that they will be spotted. So they are loyal to the business and they want to stay with the business and they want to apply themselves. They're motivated and they don't want to leave and apply for jobs elsewhere. So see, these are some of the issues in succession planning, and it is quite an important topic because if the management has to recruit outside the business, that's costly, and it also involves risks. The person recruited from outside may not suit the culture of the business. So promotion from inside is seen as preferable, if at all possible. That's all I'm going to say about this topic, so I'm going to leave it at that and say thank you for watching.